Good evening, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. This is Rich again, back for your third and final video blog of the night for Tuesday, January 6, 2015, around 8:36 p.m. It's about 11 degrees out. We got about a coating of snow today. That's about a 0.1 or 0.2 inches of snow. That adds to our total for the year so far, but it's not very impressive yet. But, sooner or later, we're going to get a snowstorm in New England, a heavy-duty one. I hope it's not one of those snowstorm after snowstorm after snowstorm after snowstorm, which usually happens when we're in a snow pattern, but no snow patterns right now. Not too many news to report, and I've been enjoying watching Antenna TV on WBIN 50.2, which is 288, on Comcast in most of eastern New England. This evening I was enjoying a couple of episodes of WKRP in Cincinnati. Very great sitcom, great classic television show, and it's one of the best sitcoms of all time. I'll probably be doing information on WKRP in Cincinnati in a future video blog. And that's about it on that. And my third and final video blog subject of the night is about my personality profile. And this week, I'm going to be reviewing some classic game show hosts. Tonight, it's Wink Martindale. Wink Martindale has been one of the most famous game show hosts in TV history. He hosted 20 game shows in over 30 years. Plus, Wink Martindale had an entertainment career on the radio, and also he was a singer. Wink Martindale's real name is Winston Martindale, and he was born and he grew up in Jackson, Tennessee. His first radio job he had was at the age of 17 he was a DJ at a local radio station in Jackson, Tennessee, and he was paid $25 a week. He went to school in Memphis State University, which is now the University of Memphis, and during his time at school, Wink worked for a couple of local radio stations in Memphis. He was a DJ, plus he was on some Memphis, he did some television in Memphis. He hosted a TV sci-fi kids show called Space Patrol, and he also hosted the show Teenage Dance Party, and one of his guests on DJ Teenage Dance Party that Wink had was the Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley and Wink Martindale developed a good friendship that lasted many years into the death of Elvis Presley in 1977. And Wink Martindale became a singer, and his biggest hit was the song called Deck of Cards, which reached the number 7 in 1959 on Billboard music charts, which was amazing. He even sang the song Deck of Cards on the Ed Sullivan Show. Then Wink moved to LA to be on several radio stations as a DJ and then a talk show host. He got into hosting game shows in 1964. He hosted a game show on NBC called What's This Song? And it lasted about a year. Then Wink hosted a couple of game shows for Chuck Barris Productions called Dream Girls 1967, and then How's Your Mother-in-Law? Both of them weren't big hits. But Wink continued to host game shows and also do radio in Los Angeles as well. He also hosted a few other game shows, Words and Music and Can You Top This? But they weren't big hits, and Wink was waiting for his big hit on television. He was still doing local radio in Los Angeles. In 1972, he got his first game show hit called Gambit, which lasted 4.5 seasons on CBS. And then afterwards, Wink Martindale hosted his most famous game show called Tic-Tac-Toe, which started in July of 1978 on CBS. But it only lasted 9 weeks on CBS. It was produced by Jack Berry and Dan Aykroyd Productions, and they're going to launch a syndicated version as well. And a lot of the stations that bought the syndicated version were kind of shocked when the CBS version went off the air after 9 weeks. So Wink had to go to all these television stations to say that Tic-Tac-Toe is going to be a hit in syndication, and lo and behold, it becomes a big hit in syndication. It lasted several years in syndication and stuff like that. In 1985, Wink Martindale decided to create a game show called Headline Chasers. He created that idea while reading the Sunday paper of the Los Angeles Times, and he created it, and he produced it in association with Merv Griffin Enterprises, but the show only lasted 1 year. He had to leave Tic-Tac-Toe just to host and produce that show. Then Wink continued to host game shows. He hosted a revived version of High Rollers, plus he produced a couple of game shows called Second Honeymoon on Star Family Channel, and a couple of others that didn't sell. Top Secret, which was a game he hosted that was going to be on CBS, but it didn't sell. Also, he hosted The Last Word and the Great Getaway Game. He continued on radio in Los Angeles. He even opened up his own restaurant called Wink Martindale's in his hometown in Jackson, Tennessee, which was open for about 2.5 years, but it wasn't profitable. But Wink was hardly a broken man after that venture. And also, Wink started to develop more game shows. He developed Trivia Pursuit for television on the Family Channel in 1993. It was a big hit for the Family Channel, and he also did interactive games for the Family Channel called Boggle, Jumble, Shuffle, and Trivia Pursuit, the interactive game as well. And he tried to attempt to syndicate Trivia Pursuit for the syndication market, but many stations just passed on it. And Wink continued to host game shows. In 1996, he hosted a game show Debt on Lifetime Television, which was a hit, which was the first game show where contestants go on a game show and they could answer questions to pay off their debt if they won or whatever. That lasted 2.5 years on the Lifetime, and they tried to attempt to syndicate it with reruns of the first season in Debt, but it didn't get the rating, so attempts to syndicate it didn't fly. And then afterwards, Wink didn't host another game show for over 12 years. But Wink started a new show on the radio in 1996 that he hosted for about 13 years called Music of Your Life, which was music from the old days. Plus, Wink Martindale also played interviews that he had through his collection. He had interviews with some of the greatest singers of all time, and he called them for many years from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s through his radio in Los Angeles and stuff. And he hosted a show from his home studios instead of going to a studio to host it. And the Music of Your Life with Wink Martindale was on the air for 12 years, but it ended in 2008. And Wink's appeared on many game show specials for GSN and then Great Game Show Moments. And Wink Martindale also becomes a spokesperson. He's been a spokesperson for Orbit and DiGiorno's and stuff like that. And Wink Martindale hosted one more game show on GSN. It was like a video game show, which only lasted about 4 months or so. But you still see Wink Martindale pop up from Game Show Network from time to time with doing quizzes and that. And he's far from retired. Retirement is not in Wink Martindale vocabulary and stuff like that. He wrote a book in 2001 called Winking at Your Life. I have a copy. In fact, he autographed it for me in 2001. I bought it through his Wink Martindale Enterprises. It's a pretty good book, and it's one of the best. Wink Martindale has hosted 20 game shows. That's second all time to Bill Collins' 23, and Wink Martindale's still going strong. He has a YouTube channel, a Facebook page. He's on Twitter. On his YouTube page, he plays some game show clips of real game shows and stuff like that. It's a pretty good thing. You could like his page on Facebook, and he has games where you could win real prizes, and these are real. It's not like phony. It's real because Wink Martindale he does it because he enjoys it. And that's about it on Wink Martindale, one of the best game show hosts of all time. Well, I'll be back tomorrow, Facebook friends and YouTube followers, with 3 more video blogs. One's going to be about the top 10 greatest St. Louis Cardinals players of all time, and then my NFL division picks and the National Football Playoff Championship game for the NCAA. And the third and final video blog of the night will be the continuation of the personality profiles this week of game show host, which will be Bob Eubanks. And Thursday's going to be Alex Trebek. Rest of the week is going to be the top 10 greatest St. Louis Cardinals pitchers of all time, and Friday's going to be the top 10 greatest Kansas City Royals players of all time, and Saturday's going to be the top 10 Kansas City Royals pitchers of all time, and Sunday there won't be a top 10 list, and I might have to, like, on the next 2 weeks, have to scale back on the top 10 things in the personality profiles, because I have the previews of the first 13 Royal Rumbles for the WWE, so one of the top 10 list in the personality profile might not be playing every single day, because one of them will have to be at least cut in order to accommodate the 13 Royal Rumble series. And don't forget, Julie Broughton and Heidi Lee Pratt's video blogs are coming. Good night, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. See you tomorrow.